Yo, peace. What's good? It's Nita. This video is for all of the people who are in my DMs, under my videos, under my posts on social media, asking me how to become a home inspector. This video is for you. So if you want to know how to become a home inspector in any state in 2025, make sure you watch this video, like it, subscribe to my channel, take notes. I'm about to break it all down. You won't need anything else after this. Number one, what you first have to do is you first got to understand what a home inspector is. I see a lot of people confusing home inspector with field inspector, with building inspector, and while they are all similar, there's a difference. A home inspector is providing a visual inspection of the main systems and components of a home, and it includes a report. As an inspector, you are looking for what we call material defects, major issues that affect the safety and the functionality of the stuff that makes your house, basically. You get a home inspection when you purchase a home. Whenever you are buying a home and you get a loan from somebody, typically that person that's loaning you the money wants you to get a home inspection and an appraisal so that they can make sure that you are what you're borrowing their money to buy a good house, basically. So that's when you have a home inspection, not to be confused with insurance, field inspections, and all of that other stuff. So a home inspector is typically going to be working when you buy a house. If you've ever bought a house, let me know in the comments how your experience with your home inspector went. So that's what a home inspector is and what we do. Second piece is you got to find out what are the requirements in your state. Each state has their own set of rules as it relates to how you can become a home inspector. We have some states which are regulated states. There are rules there. And then we have some states that are non-regulated states, which means there are no rules. There is no home inspector licensure in these states. Okay. So I've left you some help down in the comments. You can click the link, find your state, and it tells you exactly if it's non-regulated and if it's regulated and what steps you need to take. So that's step number one. Write that down. Am I regulated or non-regulated? Click the link in the description. It will help you. Next, this is the most important step. If you don't hear nothing else I say, hear this. The second step is your education. Whether you are in a regulated state or a non-regulated state, this is the most important part. This will determine if you actually end up becoming a paid inspector. You need good education. What do you mean by good education, Nita? I'm glad you asked. What I mean is there are three things that you should look for at a minimum when you're choosing a home inspector school. Anyways, number one, you need a live instructor. You cannot learn how to be a home inspector by just watching videos alone. You need to be live with somebody who you can ask questions, who will teach you the information and be there to help you connect the dots and make it make sense. Too many schools offer video-only curriculum. That will not work for you. Trust me, I know. Number two, you need a school that prepares you to take the exam. We haven't talked about that yet, but you have to, and if you're in a regulated state, you got to take and pass the NHIE. It's no joke. If you go to a school that doesn't talk to you about that, doesn't talk to you about the books, the concepts, give you sample questions, you need sample questions. If they're not doing that, you're going to have a very hard time passing the test, even if you complete your educational hours. For three, you need a school that's going to talk to you about the business. Most home inspectors work independently, meaning they are their own business. They're entrepreneurs. Most of them don't have any experience in that. So you need a school who will at least help you set up your business. By set up, I mean getting you an entity, a business bank account, your bookkeeping, your insurance, all of that stuff that you have to do as a business owner. You need some help, some guidance, some direction, some best practices with that. If your school's not going to do those three things, you're going to have a very hard time becoming a paid inspector. Shameless plug, at Inspector Flow, we handle all of that. Link in the description. #1 home inspector school in the country. Anyways, I'm moving on. So your education, that's number 2. Number 3 is the exam. Okay, again, if you are in a regulated state, more than likely you're going to be required to take the NHIE, National Home Inspector exam. I don't like the test. I don't like the books, but it's not about what I like. It doesn't matter. You just have to take it and pass it. And it is a pretty difficult test. There are 200 multiple choice questions. You have 4 hours to complete it. You must score at least a 500. They use this scaled scoring system, kind of like that. SAT, I think, something like that. So you got to score at least a 500 to pass. The exam is $225 each time you take it. So if you take it and you don't pass, you got to wait 30 days. You can reschedule, but you got to pay $225 to take it again. I get so many messages from people who are trying to take the NHIE after going to a home inspector school and they don't even have the books. It's going to be very difficult for you to take and pass this exam if you have not purchased and read all of both books. The questions come directly from the textbook. I'll give you a hint. Also read the diagrams. There are certain measurements and certain information that's not in the text. It's just in the diagram. Those show up as exam questions too. So number 3 is you must take and pass the NHIE, which goes back to number 2. It's important that you go to a school who helps you with that. Okay, number 4. You've completed your hours, you've taken your exam, whatever other state requirements you've had, you've completed. You can now go and get your license. So that's going to be basically more money, more paperwork and money that you file with your state. Hold a second. All right. You get your license. Before you complete any paid inspections, you must have insurance. As an inspector, you need to carry general liability as well as E&O. As a matter of fact, some states even make you show proof that you have that insurance. So make sure this is, again, where the business part comes in. Your licensure, your license, your insurance, any business registrations, all of that you've got to get before you start taking paid inspections. Next step, your toolkit. Now, a lot of home inspectors that you see on the internet have like a bajillion different tools and all this different stuff. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need it. You don't need that, okay? What makes a good inspection is the inspector and how well they apply their knowledge. Tools are only there to basically confirm or to help me further assess what I already think based upon, again, me visually inspecting and my knowledge. So do not, especially as a new inspector, do not go out and buy all of these tools. Do not go out and buy another car. You want to keep, as with any business, keep your expenses low so you can increase your profit. You do not need it. I have a link in the description of a basic home inspector toolkit that I believe is less than $500, where you could absolutely do great inspections with these tools. I recommend do about 10 to 20 inspections with a basic toolkit so you learn your flow. You learn how you want to do things before you start making large investments in tools and things like that, okay? Sidebar, I got another video on the drone, so I'm not going to talk about the drone piece here, but if you are going to be using the drone for a roof inspection, you will need to get an FAA Part 107 certification, which is a requirement if you want to fly a drone for money. Another video, another topic, another day. Okay? Boom. You got your education. You passed your test. You got your license. You got your insurance. You got your toolkit. It's time to hit the field. Now is when you should have already started, but now is when you focus on marketing. Social media is, if you have a business, you have to show up online. It only makes the most sense to show up online where millions of people can see you basically for free. You got to also remember that you are providing a service direct to clients locally, right? So your focus is not, you're not trying to get views from all over the country. You're trying to dominate your local market. So using hashtags and different things like that are specific to your local area are going to work out best for you, because you want the realtors, the other, again, the general public that's in your local area to know that you are a home inspector. Of course, you got to have your booking information and all that kind of stuff. So those are literally all the steps. I know I probably made it sound easy, but it's not, okay? It takes a lot of time, focus, and discipline to learn how to be a home inspector. There's a lot of information. There are 10 major systems in the home, and you've got to know about all of them, and you've got to know it well enough to, again, point out defects. Home buyers are counting on you as the home inspector to point out anything that's major that could cause them harm or that could affect the functionality of their home. That's a huge responsibility, and you should not be entering into it lightly. If you don't want to pay, like, this is a trade. You're gonna make $200 an hour. You have to pay to go to school to learn this information. You gotta pay for training. You gotta be willing to invest time and also money. Otherwise, you won't be able to do paid inspections on a consistent basis. In terms of job security, we secure, okay? People are always going to buy houses, no matter who's president, no matter what's going on with the economy. People are always going to buy houses, and there's always going to be some sort of inspection needed to check it over, because most lay people don't know the 10 major systems of a home. The federal government, if you buy an FHA home, they require an inspection. You know what I mean? So there's always, the people who are lending the money are always going to want to have that safeguard in place. There are millions of homes being sold every year, and there are, last I checked, there was something like less than 30,000 home inspectors across the country, and most of them aren't actively doing business anyway. So there is absolutely job security, earning potential. The national average cost for a home inspection is about $450. Now, of course, in some places it's going to be higher. It's not really lower. You shouldn't really be getting an inspection for less than that. But so the national average is $450. So let's just say you do your inspections at $500. If you do 10 inspections a month, which is only 2 a week, about 2 a week, that's 10 inspections at the end of the month times 500. That's $5,000. Most people not making that on their job. So the earning potential is absolutely there. I cannot stress enough, though, you will not be able to book inspect. You won't even get to the part of booking inspections if you don't invest the time into your education. I also cannot stress enough how good of a school Inspector Flow is, and how we will make sure that you are prepared to do paid inspections. So make sure you check out Inspector Flow to see when our next live class is. There are NHIE boot camps for people who are trying to pass the test. We got drone trainings. We got everything going on that you need to use in your business to make money. So this has been how to become a home inspector in 2025. I've answered all of the questions. I've laid it out clearly. I've given you links, resources to help you. All hearts and minds should be clear. Make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.